If you said, who would someone run into at the W Hotel in Hollywood? The last people I would say is a Mormon and his Bravo girlfriend.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez Higgins. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
It's late at night, and I'll be honest, I'm distracted, and I feel like we should start with this. I'm distracted because you got a text from your husband, who is out here on business in Los Angeles, and walked right into our fucking subject matter for this evening.
Well, actually, the subject matter ran into him.
Literally.
So Josh just sent me a text, and he said, and I quote, "OMG, Brittany and her Mormon boyfriend, the husband, are at the restaurant. He just bumped into me and said, 'Sorry, I'm an asshole.' And I said, 'Did you say no shit?' And he just ha-ha'd the text, but I have not heard a definitive yes or no. I'm going to say it's no because Josh, 99.9% of the time, is not going to say something that I would say.
It's not worth it. To get into
It's not.
conversation with Jared about how he is as a person. He's cooked.
So as of December 17th, 2025, she is firmly planted with this man that there's a lid for every pot, man. There's a lid for every pot.
You are loved.
Ew.
He's a weirdo, and I wonder what they're doing out here. Whatever. This will be another conversation where he sits down with Whitney's husband, Justin, and is like, all she does is use me for vacations. And
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, all right,
exactly.
well, that's still going on. Way to set boundaries, Jared.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
Oh, my God. How weird, though. How weird is that?
That is the most unusual. If you said, who would someone run into at the W Hotel in Hollywood? The last people I would say is a Mormon and his Bravo girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
what?
I was not expecting that.
When you
Of
said
all the
Brittany, I
people-
thought you meant Spears. I was like,
No.
ooh,
Oh,
she has
God,
a Mormon
I wish.
boyfriend?
No, unfortunately, it's Brittany Salt Lake. That's meta, right? Isn't that what we would call meta?
100%.
We're recording a salt, right?
Yes,
Okay.
this is, it's
Right.
it's a lot of layers. We're getting Bravo Inception up in this bish.
Before we start, I was wrong about Todd 100%. Okay? I'm wrong. I was wrong about Todd. Good luck to you, Bronwyn. I wish you all the luck as you navigate the uncoupling of your marriage. And I really need to take a look at why I was, what do the youth say, simping for this?
By the way, that
Simping
term
for this
has been
dude.
around forever. I get so mad about that. There's a Far Side song, Passing Me By, where they...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Damn, I wish I wasn't such a simp. Okay, guys, it's been around since 1994, 95. Anyways, it's been around for a long time, so everybody can
Keeps
stop.
on passing me by.
It's a great song.
That
Those
song
guys still perform out here, and
is
they sound
so
better
fucking
than
good.
ever. They're amazing.
I don't doubt it, dude. I don't doubt it.
That song is so good. Who cares? But I did go down a TikTok rabbit hole once of like watching them perform it live. And there was one performance where they just appeared at some block party in Brooklyn and got to the top of the steps of some brownstone and just did it. And like, they're so good. You guys, look up the Far Side Passing Me By live performances on TikTok, or come to Los Angeles and see them at a weird small venue where they perform in the round. And they're
Jelly.
old, but they're like working the whole crowd. Like, it's amazing. It's great.
That is a Far Side with a PH.
Yeah, sorry.
ARCYDE. Okay? Youngsters,
Yeah. Anyways.
do yourself a favor. They're good, okay? Anyway.
How did we get there? Oh, yeah. Simping for Todd.
Simping for Todd. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if I would call it simping. I think you had a moment of empathy for another human being, and maybe he's proven that was not earned.
I was
That's all.
I was probably in a post medicine glow moment, and well, shit. But I admit when I'm wrong. I am humble enough to do that. I was wrong, and I wish her luck. And this is also what everybody saw when she first joined. And this is like, there is the Bravo phenomenon that they call the lily pad.
Yeah.
That, the spouse wants to leave the spouse, and this is kind of a bridge to do that. And it's a second season thing, too. Like, let's see how the first season goes.
And then
see
the
what
audience
the reception
is like,
is.
hey, every fear you had about your husband, we confirm. And then you're like, yeah, I should go. But it's good. I don't think it's a bad thing, especially for women. I think it's really empowering to like have, I mean, I don't know if Bravo viewers are the most objective, but whatever. If you have some outside eyes and everybody comes to a consensus that's something that you've been worried about, I think that would factor into some of my confidence in making decisions.
Totally.
I'm sure my therapist would be like, that's so fucked up. You got to work that out. But
My therapist would say, really, with all the evidence, like how many times in this podcast have I said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And yet I was out here like being completely in fucking denial about it. Giving
about
this
Todd?
man, yeah,
My
the
only
benefit
problem
of the
was
doubt.
that you were kind to him in the cherry stealing scene. As ladies with former eating disorders, I was
Yeah.
like, how is that ever forgivable? He was a monster. She was like, the worst thing you ever do is when you take my cherry that I saved till the vet, and then he ate it.
I know.
Ugh.
And as someone that saves her cherry for the very end, it's pretty fucked up. I'm
That
sorry.
should be on separation papers as like irreconcilable differences, fraud, infidelity.
Ate my
Stole my
cherry.
fucking cherry when I asked him not to.
Judge is all
Got it.
granted for spouse. I don't know what the terminology is, but anyway, I guess I could consult the law offices of Vogel and Vogel and find out. Who gives a shit?
No, I think we will all give a shit because I do believe Bronwyn will be back for more subsequent seasons.
Oh,
and we
hell
will
yes.
Be giving lots of shits about how this all plays out. Because
I can't wait. Oh, I bet she's
gonna
going to
be
have to
quite
sign an
something.
NDA, isn't she?
I bet she won't. She didn't sign a prenup. So, like, what does she have to lose? She's getting half or more, depending on how hard she fights.
Well, get your money, Bronwyn. Get your money.
Yeah.
Shall we
Let's do it.
begin? And thank you, friend, on the record for taking notes. I appreciate it.
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it. This week has been a motherfucker.
Well, this week on Salt Lake City, it was Mother's Day.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And Margie, you did the title, season 6, episode 14, My Big Fat Greek Mother's Day. Oh, yeah. And another thing I saw this week, Heather Gay. I'm all, okay, I can't deny it anymore. I can't deny it anymore. She is saying things on camera that, like, I fully see what you're talking about now in regards to her daughters.
Oh
You know?
my God. It's just relentless. I'm like, it's the tonnage. I'm like, we
It's the
got
tonnage.
it the first time. You repeating this over and over again is not the hilarious comedy bit you think it is. It makes me so sad for your daughters. I want to call them and be like, you were wanted. Your mother loves you. I just worry for them. They're at college going like, sorry I ever fucking existed and breathed air and took up resources under your roof.
I mean, she was so aggressive about it. She was so ostentatious. And listen, I say this as someone who enjoys a lovely brunch with her family and then promptly goes out with my friend Lee. And then we have like our mom's gone wild for the rest of the day. You know, we might go to like an outdoor wine place and then go see a matinee or do a little bit of shopping. But I want to at least be there in the morning. Now, if I was on like a Mother's Day weekend, I would still FaceTime and I'd feel kind of shitty, I think.
I mean, I think weirdly, I feel like Heather had a point when she said, like, this is what Mother's Day should be. It should be a break from being a mother. And I think
For sure.
universally, the mothers in my life would concur.
Mhm.
It's just that the whole thing of like, that chapter of my life was a mistake. I can't wait till they're out so I can start living the life I actually wanted, not this ruse that included these 3 human beings. Like, it's just so, she's like, this is the best Mother's Day ever. I haven't heard or seen them and I don't care. And it's just like, she's crazed.
Jesus
But I will
Christ.
say her jawline looks amazing. She does another really misfiring comedy bit. And the bit was so bad that I just started looking at her physically. And I was like, her jaw looks amazing. Her arm looks great. She turned sort of profile. So I had some time to evaluate. Yeah, whatever she's doing at Beauty Lab and Laser, it's fucking working. She looks great. She's kind of a dick.
I think about my jawline, the jawline of my youth. You know, objects in the rear view mirror are closer than they appear. Like I remember that jawline was with me until very recently, and I miss that jawline prolifically. It's
Well,
a
you
profound
can
loss.
reclaim it. It exists at Beauty Lab and Laser in a strip mall in Salt Lake City. So,
We'll see.
well, clearly, I mean, yeah, Heather's had a full transformation. Anyways,
Yeah,
who
for sure.
cares? We're in Greece. Let's go to Greece.
Let's
It's
go to
Mother's Day in
Greece,
Greece.
please.
Oh my God. And speaking of Heather, we start this episode in the kitchen where for breakfast, she's heating up cheese pie. And she said something like, I'm going to have a glass of milk with it, of course. And I was like, ugh, ugh. Like, I love cheese. But like a cheese pie with a glass of liquid cheese, it just was like, I love dairy. I thought I couldn't get enough, but I've met my match in Heather Gay.
If somebody's in Greece or if I am at a Greek restaurant and I hear the word pie, I'm picturing flaky layers of phyllo, tangy ass feta against the spinach. And I'm like, yes, Heather, you go. Like, I was happy for her that she got to get her cheese pie on in the morning. She's like, I'm not fucking with that fruit. I'm going to heat up some cheese pie from the night before.
The cheese pie looked and sounded incredible. It was pairing it with a glass of milk that I was like, ooh, we
No
just went to
milk.
like the 1950s. And for some reason, it just felt, it made me feel sick.
I was shocked that people drink milk as adults.
Yeah, I think maybe that's part of it too, that I was like, what? You're
Maybe
going to
it's
have
a Mormon
glass
thing
of milk?
because you don't drink anything else, really. Well, I mean, whatever.
Maybe. In college, we made up a theory that if you have too much alcohol the night before, that's acid. So you want to have a base in the morning. So we would drink milk as if that,
God.
thank you. It did not work. It only made us feel sicker, but it did something mentally where we were like, that's good. We're going to balance acid with a base. Like, I don't know. You just try to get through in those
You
years.
really do. You really do. You never stop trying to get through.
That's the truth.
A therapeutic dose. You heard it here. You never stop trying to get through. We're all just doing our goddamn best. We're all just throwing milk at the problem.
That's right.
Holy shit.
Speaking of
It's late.
problems, Bronwyn has made what she thought would be so cute and funny. She made a reverse sticker chart where she's listed all the women's friendship commandments that they made at her Boston Spill the Tea party. And then she's put boxes for check marks if these women violate these commitments that they've made. But the concept, first of all, just saying it's way too high concept. The joke, if you have to explain the joke, it's not funny. And Bronwyn, to her credit, says, I regret doing this, as she explains it to Heather and Angie, who are thoroughly confused.
I thought it was so lame. Like, don't do this. Listen, I am so on board with your inflatable costumes, Bronwyn. I am so on board with that. This kind of schmaltzy shit, these bits, this chart, it's just so stupid.
I just needed it to be simpler. I don't have a problem with it, except that it was so many layers of explanation. You have to remember the tea party. You have to remember what you said there. You have to remember that they have to not do what they said there. It's just like, it's so much thinking. Like, give me a fucking glass of milk to take the acidic feeling out of my brain trying to figure out what the fuck that game is.
Oh my God.
But she said that since everyone acts like kindergartners, she'll treat them like kindergartners with a reverse sticker chart. And she's hoping that sheer humiliation and embarrassment will turn this behavior around. And you better believe nothing comes of this chart that took up the whole first scene. So there we go.
Yeah. And to bring it back to therapy, sheer humiliation and embarrassment.
Not a direct line to behavioral changes.
To bring it back to Salt Lake City, Angie could, roll out a scroll of embarrassments and humiliations of the addicts that I've known, and embarrassment and humiliation doesn't change anybody.
No,
it just doesn't. So
certainly not these women. They don't. I don't think they absorb those feelings. So then they go to sit out by the pool, and Angie has some like floor to ceiling window in her room, and she says they're cute. There's lots of scenes in this episode where they're just like cute and having fun together, and I really like seeing it. It reminds me of like occasionally on The Bachelor they would do outtakes where you'd see people being like funny and loose and like normal and not saying the words connection and journey and everything's so fraught on that fucking show. And sometimes these housewife shows can feel a bit fraught, but this episode was just like, look, here they are by the pool having fun in the morning. Here they are by the pool having fun in the afternoon. And I really enjoyed it. So Angie is saying that they can watch her. She's going to leave the window open so they can watch her while she goes potty. And the window opens directly onto the pool. And Angie makes a joke about having one foot on the edge and the other on a banana peel, which I think was referring to who described Todd as that? He had one foot on the edge of the grave and the other on a banana peel.
Oh my God, I don't remember that at all. So I don't know.
I don't remember who said
that.
it, but Bronwyn didn't react. So clearly she forgot to or didn't make the connection.
I appreciated this episode because it felt like there was a balance between just these heavy, frustrating scenes. These just heavy, frustrating, just like, oh my God, please, do you not hear yourself? Anyway, we'll get there. And almost like early seasons of Housewives in general, just the fourth wall, like we just had like an inside of bird's eye view. Like no one was there worried about bullshit or social media. It's 2008. We're not glued to our iPhones yet. It will happen momentarily. It's just like Big Brother with a hidden camera. That's what that scene reminded me of. And it was really fun. It was fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Lisa comes outside and Angie jokes that she might push her in the pool after the way she's treated her in her own country. And then Brittany and Mary come out and Mary starts us down the Mother's Day path saying, we're all here on Mother's Day without our kids. And Heather goes, I've never had a Mother's Day without them. And then we get to her confessional where she goes, best Mother's Day ever, and tells us why she's so glad she's not with them and doesn't miss them at all. And again, hitting us over the head with how much she can't wait to not be defined by those three turds, I guess. I don't know what her problem is.
Okay, we get it, Heather. It's been almost essentially, I don't think it's been every episode that we've heard this refrain from her, but it's a lot. Okay, say it once, but now it's like Shakespearean at this point. Like, calm down.
Heather is a bit of a producer, I think, in her head. And I think she didn't realize how flat such a storyline might fall. So I think she set up the season with this as her storyline. And now everywhere she goes, she's going to land on it again. So now that I'm in Greece, I don't miss him. And it's Mother's Day. Can you believe it? But that's what I said on the first episode when I was like, I can't wait for this chapter to close. And remember that other episode when I got rid of my stained mattress from my old life that had kids in it? This is what happens. If you produce your own season and you get it wrong, you're stuck with your choice the whole season and it's bad. If you just live your life like a normal person, then you're Angie and we can't get enough of you year after year. So I wish you would just relax away from the comedy and just live again. Because I don't know what's real. You know what I mean?
You're right.
It feels like a storyline.
Yeah,
I don't. Okay.
I hate produced housewives. I hate them. I really do. And Heather, she's doing too much. She's doing too much this season. I mean, listen, they all have to go through this, right? Don't we see at least one housewife per franchise pull this shit and then it inevitably bites them in the ass? When's it going to come for Erica Jane? When is it going to come for Erica Jane?
Did you watch last episode? It's coming for her. She will never not be in court for the rest of her life. And that means she will never feel secure financially for the rest of her life, which she is not entitled to because of what she did to other people. Because lawyers are expensive if you want them to keep you out of jail when you've actually done terrible things like she has. So she's the rest of her life will be fraught.
Speaking of fraught, and then Brittany, so many things that she said in her confessionals in this entire episode. I was stunned. I was stunned at the disconnect from reality. I was stunned at the disconnect from how her choices got her here. And she still leaves me speechless that she seems so detached from her role in any of this dynamic with her kids. So she says that Mother's Day is always bittersweet for her. It's nice being around other mothers, but at the same time, it's a little difficult seeing how other mothers relate to their kids in an uncomplicated, normal way when I have a really complicated, nuanced relationship with my daughters who have asked you specifically. Like, they're not just being like, be there for me, Mom. They're saying, I would like for you to not date Jared for 30 days. And then I will feel safe to trust you and we can move on from there. I mean, how much clearer can it get?
It can't. And so she's answered that request with a hard pass. So it's hard to feel, I don't feel anything for her when she says shit like this. And also, it's so reductive. What do you mean other mothers relate to their kids in an uncomplicated, normal way? No, they don't. Parent-child relationships, even the best ones, have nuances and challenges and complexities, Brittany. You just know each other better if you're in each other's lives. So
Yeah.
I don't know how your relationships could be nuanced because you disappeared them.
She doesn't see it. I think about her kids. And I get so uncomfortable watching someone just completely oblivious or willfully oblivious to her role in it. It makes me really sad for her kids. Like, how frustrating it must be. How frustrating it must be.
Does seem like there's some sort of like mental deficiency on Brittany's side. It's like, how are you not connecting these dots? But I really believe she's not connecting the dots. It's weird. But she just can't grasp what her role is in all of this, apparently.
Mm-mm.
But she does get this right, noting that one person is not in the equation right now when they're all light and bright and having fun. And then we cut to Meredith, who is inside alone in a real surly mood, making herself a coffee. And this I thought was interesting, that Lisa had messaged her in the morning, but Meredith did not respond, which seems pointed and shitty and a message in its own right, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. That is some passive aggressive, punishing, manipulative kind of behavior.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes, but then you can also say, oh, I was busy, or my phone was on silent, or my battery ran out. Like, bullshit. This is a choice. This is intentional. And it's having the impact that you intended it to have. So, and then I did watch the after show, and they show in the after show after this, pertaining to this episode, they show some footage of the coffee situation. And apparently, I think Whitney and Heather were downstairs. Whitney and someone were downstairs by the coffee machine, and they couldn't figure out how to get it to work. And like, Meredith shuffled in. She's like, oh, is the coffee maker, broken? And then she shuffled out when she realized that like she wasn't just gonna be able to get in and get out with a coffee. It just looked real tense.
Yeah, they showed that in the episode. And
oh, they did show that in the episode?
Yeah,
not in
but
oops, sorry. I thought
no,
it was
no.
the behind the scenes or
But
the
to
after
me,
show.
it just looked like, but again, I think I'm looking for it now. To me, it just looked like there have been people with substance addiction issues in my life who, if they are not engaged in their substance, they're as hideous as if they were wildly hungover from their substance. So what I noted in Meredith's shuffling around was that agitation of like, I can't be in this body.
It was steaming. It was emitting. Her
Yeah,
energy was,
right?
it was visceral. It was emitting. It was, okay, it was radiating. That's what I meant to say. She didn't have to say anything. Her energy was palpable through the screen.
Yeah.
Palpable. So Heather says, Meredith is still refusing to acknowledge my experience. I have no idea where we go from here. I know I shouldn't keep having the same discussion, but I guess I just keep holding out hope that Meredith will swallow her pride for the sake of our friendship.
And I just wrote, go to Al-Anon. I shouldn't keep having the same discussion. Go to Al-Anon.
The definition of insanity.
Yeah, I guess I
Doing
just
the
keep
same
holding
thing
out hope that
right.
she'll swallow our pride for the sake of me. Go to Al-Anon. They're not going to do it. They never do it.
I get hope. I get it. I understand.
But there's a different kind of hope that
Yeah, dude.
actually is functional. At least she knows. At least she prefaced all this stuff by saying, I know I shouldn't do this, but I do. And then Mary goes to find Meredith, and Angie tells everyone what's going on today, and that is that the group will be splitting in two. One group will go to ride donkeys, and the other will go to a Greek cooking class. And Angie has designed the groups to put people who are in conflict with one another together so that maybe they can work things out. And that means Whitney and Meredith and Heather will be at the cooking class together. But Whitney says that maybe this will be good because stupid Lisa won't be there being Meredith's mouthpiece, because she does keep jumping in. Meredith just seems to like flip a switch and turn off until she's on a plane with no cameras. And then everything that she's been holding on to appears to come out. So
Please, Bravo gods, can we see footage? Can something happen at the end of the season where we get to see footage or at the reunion? Please. I need to. I
I
see
don't
the
think there's
footage.
footage, but I'm sure there are firsthand accounts. And it does seem like everything aligns. Meredith is the only one with Meredith's story. Everyone else is like, what? That was. So Mary goes to Meredith's room and asks her if she's okay. And Meredith immediately says, I'm overtired and I'm tired of being treated like a piece of dirt on the ground. And I loved Mary for just being like, so what do you want to do? She did not engage with her at all and go like, oh, I'm sure. She's just like, what are you going to do about it? And Meredith said, I don't know. She was so overdramatic this episode, I could barely take it. So much drama.
I have had a really monstrous week, like the most monstrous week I've had as far as I can remember. And in my last session with medicine, one of my therapists there shared that they asked themselves every day, what do I want? What do I want? And I realized that I'd been forgetting to ask myself that this week. And I'm going to forgive myself for that instead of beating myself up for it. I'm learning new ways, is so profound to me. Those just that little simple sentence, because I have choices. And if I just roll along, if I end up miserable, it's on me. Circumstances can be absolute, total foobar. But if I handle that foobarness in a dirty way instead of just in a clean way, then that's on me. And that's what grossed me out so much about Meredith. We'll get there, but like it was comical, Margie. It was so melodramatic. Like her body language, her words, the way she was speaking.
Her turning away with her hair shielding her face into poor Giovanni who didn't
Good
sign
Lord.
up for this shit.
Good Lord. I would be mortified if that was on film for everybody to see in perpetuity. Anyway, continue, please.
In 12 Step Rooms, they say pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And I feel like Meredith opted in to suffering until miraculously she opted the fuck out and had a great time at the pool in the afternoon. And I was like, well, look at you making a choice to like have your feelings hurt and also enjoy Greece. Huh. How evolved, Meredith. How
You're
grown up.
so right. And that's exactly what I was trying to say. I was like saying that long-winded shit. But yes, you're so right. You're so right.
Well, Meredith has a quick confessional where she says she's sick of Whitney and Heather being mean girls, and she's sick of Whitney making false allegations at me. And this is about Whitney directly calling her out as being an alcoholic and a pill popper. And then Meredith does the classic alcoholic pill popper thing of turning it on the person who accused her of being an alcoholic pill popper and says Whitney needs to worry about herself and her own life and stop projecting it onto me, which landed like nothing. I was like, you're not going to try and convince us that Whitney is a pill popping alcoholic. Like, come on, Meredith. She's just taking too many shots in too many directions. Every episode, she has a new reason why it wasn't me. And it's like, ugh.
Hear ye, hear ye. Let's stop the reactive abuse.
Yeah. Stop projecting onto me, Whitney. You're that. You do that.
Dude,
God,
it's
weirdo.
not projecting. It's looking in the goddamn mirror.
Mary's an excellent peacemaker because she says she agrees that Whitney has not yet taken full accountability for how she has hurt Meredith, but Meredith needs to tell Whitney how she feels so this can be resolved. She says, you need to tell her how you feel. Basically, essentially punctuating it with claps in between each word, being like, wake up. And she says, at the end of the day, we need to get through this. We have to. And Mary's right. Like, for the sake of the show, for the sake of everyone's lives, it's just like lame and boring and dumb and also probably true. So just like stop trying to create a new reality and just say, like, Whitney, I need you to apologize for saying these things, and then move it along and put on your business suit bikini and have a great afternoon.
So they're on the Sprinter van on the way to cooking class and ass. Donkey, cute, Margie, cute. So Lisa is like doing a roll call of sorts, and she says, so you're going cooking, me, cooking, donkey.
That was amazing. That was my favorite line of the episode.
And Meredith is not feeling real positive about groups. And Mary says, oh, Lord.
That's what we mean by suffering is optional. Meredith is choosing to dig in, and Mary is like, Jesus, come on, man. Like, you got to give a little bit here.
I'm going to write down suffering is optional on my notes just so I can like see it. There's a little bit of neuroplasticity in my brain in this moment where it's going to seep in, and I can, or you know what I could do? I could just put a fucking Post-it note on the goddamn wall. I don't have to make it so complicated.
This is where Andy explains that the groups were formed with the hope of inspiring reconciliation among our feuding members. And then Meredith, oh my God, this is where it begins, her melodramatic bullshit. She goes, ever since the plane, it's been clear that how I speak is not okay. No one wants to hear what I have to say. I've been told not to speak. I've been told the way I speak isn't good enough. I'm apparently too educated and speak too eloquently. And thank God Heather cuts her the fuck off and is like, this has nothing to do with your education. I'm educated too. And basically Heather lays it out like, this has to do with you throwing our long-term friendship under the bus because Heather took offense to Meredith trying to dictate how Heather should be a friend. And then Heather made fun of Meredith, and then Meredith just iced her out. Years of friendship were no longer relevant because Heather did one thing that Meredith didn't like. And so, like any good addict, she cuts her off.
Holy shit.
Sorry.
She takes a call. Oh, it's my son calling me for Mother's Day. I'm not convinced that she didn't text Brooks and say, please, God, rescue me right now. Will you please call me?
All I know is that she said, it's my son calling me for Mother's Day. And then we see her answer the phone and talk to her son. And then the rest of the episode, she tells us, I didn't get to talk to my son. I just wanted to talk to my son on Mother's Day. Could I just have 2 minutes? You had 2 minutes to talk to your, it's on camera. We all saw it. So again, I don't believe anything you say about what happened on the plane because you don't remember shit clearly. You're whining and crying about how you didn't get to talk to your son. He called, you talked to him, and you made a big fucking mess out of it. You could have talked to your son and enjoyed your conversation. Instead, you got all dramatic about like, they're yelling at me to get off the phone. No, they aren't. Why don't you just talk to your son and enjoy your Mother's Day conversation, you dumbass? She's nuts.
She is. And it's not cute, dude. It's not cute. It's not sophisticated. You can put it in all the little Meredith Marks branded little fucking gift bags that you want. You can, have your caviar. You can have your DJ. It's not cute. None of it is cute. It is repellent. Not charming.
Speaking of not charming, Heather in her confessional does the stupidest bit, which went on for fucking ever. Why did the editors leave this in? Was it just to see her jawline?
Margie, it was so fucking long.
So long.
It was so long.
She must be so charming to them because she gives it all up. She stirs the pot and she says shit in her confessionals. The producers must just love her. But she does this stupid bit about pretending to take a call mid-confessional and saying that I know you're 22, my sweet daughter, but here's how you put $1 in a vending machine. And then she says to the camera, being all like, whatever happened to baby Jane, like crazy about it. Like, when my child calls, I answer, and you have a problem with that. What's wrong with you as a mother? And it just made me think, like, One of the things that I appreciate most about my mom is that anytime I called, she fucking answered. And if it was to say, I stubbed my toe and I'm embarrassed, or if it was to say my engagement is over, she answered the phone every fucking time and took me seriously every fucking time. And like, fuck you, Heather. I don't care about the big shit that my mom did. I care about that I knew that anytime I dialed that number, unless she was not near her phone or otherwise engaged at a place where you could not have a phone, she would take the call and take me seriously. And this, again, was just another one of those moments where I was like, ugh, Heather, any goodwill that I'm trying to hold on to for you, you are burning it in my face. It was not funny. You're not a comedian. You are a mean girl. And the victim in this case is your daughters? Yuck.
It was embarrassing. Like I had secondhand embarrassment and it went on too long. It was awkward. It was like when you're watching a show and it's bombing and you're like, oh God, stop. I can't watch anymore. Stop. I was more mad than I was like secondhand embarrassment cringe for her.
I had enough time to be cringe, embarrassed, mad, and then have enough time to look at her jawline and then have enough time to then look at her arm and be like, wow, it looks great. Everything looks great. So that's how long that went on. Too long. All of it unfunny.
A whole Heather Gay experience. So Brittany shrugs off Meredith's melodrama. She's taking a phone call. Like, why? Why the pomp and circumstance, or whatever the negative version of pomp and circumstance is? Why the drama? Meredith says, I love you. I'm getting yelled at. I'm getting yelled at to hang up the phone on Mother's Day. Sorry. And dramatically drops the phone into her purse. Oh my God. I can't.
And again, this is where Meredith is losing all credibility. We're watching this. You are not being yelled at, and you're not being asked to get off the phone on Mother's Day. Like, nobody's doing that. Everyone's just shocked you took a call in the middle of a conversation without saying to Heather, excuse me, this is my son. I want to take this. And if you'd had a normal conversation with your son, no one would be mad. But instead, you used the conversation with your son as a way to punish the women. It just is like, she's just nonsense. She's nonsense. And then she breaks down weeping. I want to be with my family. I don't want to be here right now. It's Mother's Day. I'd like to talk to my children, you just did, and be with my family. You're in Greece, so that's crazy. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I do. I know what the fuck she's talking about. She feels on an island right now. She's on an island of her own making.
Santorini? Oh, just kidding.
Well, bump. I mean, yeah, she's in her own island of misery. She's on her own island of suffering. And she knows that her family is going to treat her like glass. She knows that Brooks and, I'm sorry to that daughter, Charlie, Chloe. Sorry,
shit.
Chloe.
Yep.
Chloe, and I don't know if Seth's even there, but like they're going to welcome her with open arms and a caviar chip and happy Mother's Day. And she knows that she won't be questioned or held to accountability or whatever. I mean, maybe they are. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the hell goes on behind closed doors with them. I think that's part of the problem. I don't need to go off on that. But my point is that she wants to be there for the same reason why Lisa Barlow wants to talk to her dad, because they are enabling her. And this cast is not enabling her. And she can't take it, in my opinion. Projecting.
No, I just had a slightly different version of what the enabling is. I had a feeling that Brooks called. Once we see later that he and his sister had flowers delivered, I feel like Brooks called to make sure she got the flowers, to see if she would say anything about getting the flowers. Because again, having grown up with an alcoholic parent, you want to get ahead of it and fuck, you want to make sure it got there. It's fucking overseas. And if it didn't get there, you better believe the second she steps off the plane, she's going to be like, it's Mother's Day and you fucking humiliated me. But he wanted to call to be sure and say, like, there's something special coming for you. Keep an eye out. I did think of you. Like, to me, it just felt like, I don't know. Again, I'm talking about projecting. I'm projecting. But I know that phone call where you're like, I've done something and I don't know if it's going to go the way I planned. And if it doesn't, I'm going to catch hell. So I'm going to try to get ahead of it and be like, I did something good. Just wait for it. I did it, So fucked up.
You're so perceptive.
Sick. Oh.
Well,
Unwell.
I
No,
mean,
just
por qué no los dos,
right,
right? Por qué no los
exactly.
dos? Because I'm sure if she does that victim bullshit that she does with that sweet chef later in the episode, I mean, you're right. Brooks has probably seen it. Oh my God, he's trying to get ahead of it. You're absolutely right.
I don't know if I am or I'm not, but I just like as we learn about Meredith's dynamics and what she inspires people close to her to do, I was like, ooh, Brooks. I wouldn't blame him. And I did think this was interesting because it was kind of confronting to Meredith because she has just said, I want to be with my family. And Lisa says, I'm happy in Greece, just saying. And that to me felt like you might as well give her the finger and like kick her in the see you next Tuesday because that was aggressive.
I mean, that was taking a page out of Angie K's book to say something like that.
Yeah.
I'm happy in Greece. I'm happy in Greece. That was pointed and layered and cutting, and I couldn't believe it came from Lisa.
I
I mean,
mean,
I can, but like at Meredith?
Meredith didn't text her back this morning.
Oh,
So
shit.
you're going to hear from me,
Duh.
if I look out
Yes.
for you and we claim to be
Yes.
loyal friends to each other, I'll show you how quick I can turn. That was weird.
Oh my God, Meredith. I
Oh.
can't take this woman seriously. And in her confessional, she says, I just wanted a couple of minutes to talk to my son because that's the only opportunity I get to speak with him. Pretty disappointing.
You did have a couple minutes to talk to your son and it was on camera. We saw it. You did it. What is the problem? You made the problem because you made that phone call into something weird. Weirdo. Oh, and then Heather and Meredith get into it again. And Heather says she's upset because she feels like Meredith has disregarded their friendship history and that crushes her. And then Meredith never apologized or acknowledged that she had hurt Heather. And then Heather said the most Al-Anonic thing I've heard out of her mouth yet. She goes, I'm in trouble for you not being okay. And I'm not okay. And I was like, go to Al-Anon. Oh my God, there's a seat for you in that room.
I think that's the second time you've wrote "Go to Al-Anon" in regards to Heather.
Lots.
This is we're only on page 5 of notes.
Honestly.
So that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And then Meredith shuts down. This is where her off switch gets hit. And she goes, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. And then, that other move where you just suck the fucking air out of a room.
And then Lisa yells, let's talk about the real issue. And Heather notes that this is what always happens. Meredith goes gray rock when she's confronted, and Lisa picks it up and speaks for her. And Lisa says Meredith is gray rock because no one is saying what they mean. Okay, stop saying gray rock. Stop saying reactive abuse. I'm going to even tell Meredith to stop saying projecting. I know we've talked about it before. I hate when these housewives, regardless of the franchise, hear a new term going around from the mental health space and they use it incorrectly, or like they just hear it and they apply it to what they think it means. Nobody in this whole fucking cast is gray rocking nobody. I'm so impatient with them. I'm so pushed. I'm pushed.
I mean, I actually appreciated Lisa in this moment because she just blurts out, Meredith's feelings are hurt because Whitney called her a pill popper and alcoholic. And then somehow Whitney is like, that's really unfair to me. And I was like, oh, I don't understand. And God bless Angie K. The Sprinter van stops to let off the people who are going to the cooking class. And she says, what did she say? Like GTFO? She's like, get the fuck out. Talk to you never. And like these ladies awkwardly disembark the Sprinter. And then my favorite sequence of the episode starts. So Whitney, Heather, and Brittany continue toward the venue where they will be taking the cooking class while Meredith clips clops in her flip-flop heels down Grecian roads away from the cooking venue. And the cameras are cutting back and forth between the ladies going to cooking class and Meredith walking down the road. And all this like fun Greek music is playing for the ladies who are going to cooking class. And then this like really sad, low, isolated bass line plays when they cut back to Meredith. It's just like dong, 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 dong. And then they go to the cooking class and it's like, hey, dong, dong, dong. It was amazing. And it was so overdramatic and I loved it mostly because she had to turn around and come the fuck back later. But we got a lot of her walking away for the time being.
I loved that this cooking class wasn't really cooking. It was We're going to sit here. This dude's going to explain how this shit works. We're going to kind of like assemble something and then we get to eat. I don't want to work at a restaurant. I don't want to work on vacation. I am also not necessarily intrigued by learning how to make something. However, this man was so charismatic, I would have been entertained by him doing whatever.
He's my favorite thing. His name is Giovanni, and he greets them. He says welcome so many times, you couldn't count. He says he's from Crete like Angie is, and he considers himself a Greek salad because he's half Greek, half Italian. And I was like, you're fucking darling.
My friend Pat calls me a jalapeno bagel. Isn't that brilliant?
It is brilliant.
Right?
Yeah, you and Giovanni would make a meal I'd really like.
A jalapeno
like
bagel and
a
Greek salad?
So
Fuck yeah,
yes.
dude. That sounds delish. Shout out to my friend Pat for that one. It's real good. Anyway.
Nice, Pat.
Mm-hmm. So then Lisa, Angie, Bronwyn, and Mary are doing their donkey ride. Lisa obsessively asks if the donkeys bite. They do not bite. Lisa needs help up. Despite getting on horses all the time, she fucking does, doesn't she? Oh my God.
Horses are giant and a donkey is way littler. And she's like, I'm on horses all the time. I'm like, are you? Because it looks like you've never straddled anything taller than a tricycle. This is not smooth, ma'am.
And then they take off through the streets of Greece, and Lisa says, what do you call a donkey with a degree? A smartass. She chat GPT'd that joke, didn't she?
All I know is I was with my 9-year-old goddaughter, and she was reading from a joke book for 7-year-olds. And like, I'm pretty sure that this is about the caliber that was in the joke book for 7-year-olds. But, you know, they're Mormon. I don't know. Maybe they didn't get a lot of, you know what I mean? I don't know if you, ass is about as like, hard as a joke as you could probably get away with without being beaten by a golden tablet or something. I don't know. I don't know much about their religion. Anyway,
having your swig gift card taken away.
Right. Then Angie tries to make this donkey ride meaningful by telling us that her dad grew up with a donkey as transportation. He would walk 17 miles barefoot up and down a mountain to the market to load up the donkey with groceries. And she concludes by letting us know that she feels very blessed to live a life where she drives a Porsche. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty one-to-one easy connection. Thank you for that long walk to nowhere.
I mean, God bless that she actually acknowledges, though, the differences.
Yes. And that I do believe she's genuinely grateful for what she has. Yes.
I absolutely agree. For all the faults I find with Angie, I do think that she has a sense of, yeah, she knows she's blessed. Then they go up some stairs and Mary is not having it. I didn't see Grease coming with riding a donkey. Dude, I would be pissed too. I also don't want to ride anything with 4 legs when I'm on vacation. Well, no, I rode horses in Mexico. I don't really want to ride a donkey in Greece. I don't want to ride a camel in Mexico or in Morocco. I think Luann had to ride a camel 2 times. Once in Mexico, which was, yeah, she did.
Then we're back with the cooking class, and Chef George is introduced to the table, and he explains they will be making moussaka. And then we see flip-flop heels clip-clopping back up the streets of Greece, and Meredith has come back to join them. And Giovanni is the best. So here's this surly-ass lady in a miniskirt rolling up in her clip-clop heels. And Giovanni's just like, welcome, welcome, you are welcome, please. And he gestures to a chair for her. And oh my God, I want to take on some Giovanni energy into my life. Like no matter what is facing me, I want to be able to have, I don't know what it is that Giovanni has that I do not, where if a Meredith surly ass was walking up to me, where I, instead of going like, okay, what's this? I would say, welcome, welcome. You are so welcome. Please have a seat. Like he was lovely.
He was so lovely. He was so lovely. Yeah. I'm going to work on accessing some Giovanni before this holiday season runs out. Inner Giovanni. Mm-hmm.
Feeling Giovanni, if you will. Okay.
Oh, I want to feel Giovanni. Yes. Yes. I love that, Margie. I love it.
Isn't that the song? Did I get it wrong? Is that the song that they all sang? Dorinda?
Giovanni.
Giovanni. There we go. I knew something wasn't
Dorinda's
landing.
designer friend.
All right. You can cut that out. That's a big turd. Anyways, Meredith tells us after Giovanni welcomes her so lovingly, she's like, I was stranded and I had no choice but to rejoin the group. And I'm like, well, you suck. And then Giovanni introduces himself and Chef George specifically to Meredith, like really paying attention to her, even though she's late and she sucks. And he says, we are doing a beautiful cooking lesson here, please. And he pulls out her chair. He serves them wine and they all cheers. But Meredith puts her glass down very deliberately, doesn't take a sip because she's no alcoholic, which is why she was shuffling around like a see you next Tuesday earlier in the morning because she's totally cool.
So George has taken them through the steps of making moussaka. And while that's happening, Meredith starts crying quietly, very dramatic. My God, so repellently dramatic. I would be humiliated to watch that back, to be quite frank. That's satire melodrama right there. So Meredith starts crying. Giovanni comforts her. What's happening? Are you okay? Honest, honest. And Meredith complains that some of the women haven't been so kind and that she misses her son. It's Mother's Day. I won't get to talk to him. You did. You
okay.
did talk to him. None of the women are buying Meredith's bullshit. They all just stare at her like, be please, right? And Giovanni tries to mend the moment. The wine makes us so happy. Like he was tap dancing.
Yes.
Like, okay, he's like, oh, no, the wine makes us so happy.
Little did he know the wine is sort of the root of this whole problem that started 30,000 feet above sea level.
My God.
A couple plane rides ago.
Heather says she's obviously not happy. And Meredith, no, I'm not happy. Brooks is on a plane. I won't get to talk to him today. That was my one chance to talk to him. And I'm hurt and I am sad.
You did talk to him. You talked to him.
And then here's where Brittany says, well, I didn't get to talk to my kids for 3 years. You cannot compare these situations. These are not scenarios that are comparable. Yes, you are both moms. Yes, you both have kids. That's where the similarities end.
Yeah, because she said it like a zinger, not like a, this is devastating.
It was like a contest.
Yeah, not trying to explain to Meredith what's actually devastating is when you lose contact with your children for years. That's actually sad. What happened today is inconvenient. But instead she was like, oh yeah? Well, I didn't talk to my kids for 3 years. I was like, ew, I do not like this energy. This is very weird.
It was so weird. It was so inappropriate. But then Meredith gets real dramatic in a whisper. Of course, it's all about you. Oh my God.
All about you. I was like, oh my God, you were a ridiculous impression of an adult woman. Oh. Well, Brittany does have one moment of insight because in her confessional, she says, you know, she can't believe Meredith is making a scene in front of these lovely men who are hosting this cooking class. And they're putting everything they have into showing these women a great time. And Meredith appears to be using this not being able to talk to Brooks thing as deflection to not have to answer the harder questions. And I actually think Brittany got this one right. Most things she gets wrong, but as you would say, a broken clock.
She broken clocked like a noon or a 3 or a 6 or a 9. Like it wasn't like a 4:55. That was a spot on observation.
That was 12 rings of that bell.
Exactly.
Like solid high noon. She nailed it.
So then the donkey riders come meet the rest of the cast at the lunch for cooking class. And of course, oh no, go ahead.
We do have a little moment with the donkey riders first. This is where Angie sort of initiates this intervention with Lisa, telling her that Meredith relies on Lisa to get in the ring and fight for her. And Bronwyn says Lisa needs to let Meredith and Heather work out their own friendship on their own terms, and Lisa can butt the fuck out. And Lisa, in her confessional, says, I'm a real loyal friend. So all of their like stay on your own side of the street conversation is going in one ear and out the other. So they made a solid effort. And Mary seems genuinely disturbed, sitting on her donkey with her head hanging. She says, I don't know. I'm praying for Meredith. I feel like something's off. And I really think Mary is sniffing out what you and I and lots of people are deeply concerned about, that there is an addiction issue and someone is in denial about it. And it's not anyone but the one person who needs to be concerned.
And Mary would know.
Yes.
Mary would know.
She's currently deep in it, under her own fucking roof. So
Mother's Day is probably very complicated for her.
I know.
Given
she must
Robert
be so
Jr.
worried. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And she's so far away, and he's so vulnerable at this stage of his hopefully long, slow recovery, as they say.
Ay, ay, ay. So then the donkey riders arrive at lunch. They meet their castmates in the cooking class, and Giovanni, of course, enthusiastically welcomes them and serves them a gorgeous meal. And Mary asks if the cooking class contingency got anywhere. And seriously, anywhere. Did you guys make any headway with Meredith? Heather prompts Meredith to share why she's so upset about Mother's Day. And Meredith says, just that I'm not going to get to talk to my son.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You did.
She cries and immediately starts yelling when Heather says Meredith was actually upset about all of it, which is being called out for being a pill popper, etc. And Lisa agrees that Meredith's big emotions have nothing to do with Mother's Day. Again, another broken clock. And it's so true. We all know this, though. That's the thing. Addicts are like, okay, I'm not going to say they're not good actors because a lot of them are. They're like the most charming actors of all time. An addict, their behavior, it's a wild fucking ride.
No, they say that, addiction goes through those 3 large chapters of fun with consequences, just consequences. So Meredith is entering the just consequences phase of her addiction, it appears, allegedly. The acting part is fun. When they're fun, it's fun. But when they've reached the only consequences part, then it's like, we see right through you, dude. Like what used to be charming about your addiction is now worn off because now you need it in a different way and it's changed your behavior in ways that, like, again, as someone who engaged in weird behaviors, not with drugs and alcohol, but with other things, I thought I was keeping great secrets, but I was acting like a fucking weirdo. As soon as I started getting a little recovery under my belt, I was like, oh my God, they always say the addict is the last person to admit there's a problem. And it appears we're there with this group.
I was glad that Lisa said that because it didn't feel like Lisa was sticking up for Meredith when she said it. It felt like it was more of an appropriate indictment, an appropriate observation, an appropriate, like, can we fucking be honest about this? Because honestly, anybody can see. Giovanni can see it. The fucking pepperoncini on the salad can see it. The moussaka can see it. You are resentful about the shit that's been going down since you were called out for your foul behavior on this plane. You're defensive as hell. And that's why you're so pissed and so fucking defended, dude. She's defended as hell. She is so defended and acting so ugly because of it. Exactly.
In every direction with drug tests and accusations of her own. Like, she's just crazed trying to, like, shake this label. But the more she tries to shake it off, it's like a fly trap, the more she gets stuck in it. Lisa said, right, that Meredith's big emotions have nothing to do with Mother's Day. This is about the friendships within the group. And Meredith dramatically again gives us am I allowed to be upset for 5 minutes? It's like, you clip-clopped away, clip-clop back. You've been crying at this table into Giovanni's chest. You've had more than 5 minutes and now you're being crazy. And Heather clarifies that Meredith is just not allowed to use this new problem to bypass the harder conversations. Because she says, we all knew we were going to be here on Mother's Day and we all agreed to take this trip. This is not a surprise day that happened to fall that none of us saw coming. So please.
You're at work, bitch. You're at work. You're at work. Isn't Meredith the one that went off on deflecting 2 seasons ago or less?
I'm sure she does it in this episode. But now she's using projecting, or you know what I mean? She's just picking a word and leaning into it. But Lisa is really fixated on Whitney. So she says, we need to go back to Ground Zero. Whitney's comments about Meredith's substance abuse. And to Whitney's credit, she apologizes and concedes that she was out of pocket, calling her an alcoholic and a pill popper. And then Meredith just goes, okay, great. With this energy that's like, not okay, great in any other way than like aggressive, and this is absolutely not over. And Whitney in her confessional says what we're all thinking: I should never have called Meredith those names, but that does not take away my concern. Okay, so basically, yes, only an addict can identify as such, but the rest of us in their lives who love them can be concerned that there are tendencies that indicate trouble on the horizon.
And then Giovanni gets them all to cheers, and then they head back to get ready for dinner. And they're in the Sprinter van.
This is a whole big nothing. It's just
everybody's tired, right? Yeah. And then they start talking about poop and pee and showering, and Oh my God.
This got a little meta because 10-1 and 10-2, like that's what you use on a set. That's what the crew uses when they're like, the director's taking a 10-1. You need to know where someone is and how long they'll be gone. So like 10-1 means pee and 10-2 means poo. They'll probably be gone a little bit longer. So
So
this
they
is a
basically
good time for a lighting
broadcast
change.
when the director is going to go take a deuce.
Yeah, or an actor or anybody, but it's really nothing. It's really so casual. It literally just means like, oh, this we're doing a lighting change and the director's not in his chair and here's why. And he
Oh,
has
got
plenty
it.
of time to do what he or she is headed out to do. Anyways, it suddenly just became like I just felt icky about like everybody's too it's too
been
much of a
wrapped up
set.
in a
Yeah.
bow too quickly. Yeah,
Well, and
yeah,
it's too
yeah.
much of a set. Like you guys are using language that people use on like it's just weird. Anyways, they giggle about poo for a while, and we find out that on the donkey ride, oh God, Mary's donkey pooed, but Bronwyn's have diarrhea. And then the editors thought it was necessary for us to like look at the different poo
Oh
consistencies of these
God.
donkeys.
Oh, I blocked that out.
Oh, I didn't, because I'm really having an identity crisis because I think poos and farts are hilarious, but like I was grossed the fuck out by this whole scene. I was like, shut up, stop giggling about poo, and please don't show it to me on camera. And at one point, someone's talking about Meredith's poo schedule. We don't need to get into it. She has her head sort of leaned to the side and she's like, I'm falling asleep. And then she does that thing with her jaw that meth heads and coke addicts do, where they move it side to side, and I don't think she knew she was doing it. And I was like, girl, that's on camera too. Like that's a telltale sign. So then we're back at the villa and they all sit by the pool. Lisa is a nightmare who tells us she'll only drink her own tequila as someone tries to pour them all a lovely drink in Santorini, but she refuses it. Meredith enters in, I don't know, Ally McBeal is so old, but I just remember Ally McBeal was a TV show about a lawyer and she wore these like super micro mini skirt suits. And that's what Meredith enters wearing. And Heather jokes it's not a business meeting. And then Meredith pulls her skirt down to reveal a still pretty business suity bikini. Meredith's pool style is insane. But Meredith, here we see that she has chosen not to suffer in this moment. So her sense of humor is back. She's trying to reset, restart, and have some fun. And then we just have some like general hijinks in the midst of which flowers are delivered for Meredith. They're from her kids. Lisa's a brat and says, I don't like flowers. Is that crazy? I never want flowers as a gift because they die. I want like stuff. You're gross. Like, why yuck someone else's yum? And also, you're a weirdo. Then we get, I don't know, Bronwyn has kissed a girl. Brittany's kissed hundreds of men. Meredith once broke a dish at a house party in a story that goes absolutely nowhere. And then everyone leaves to change for dinner. Did I miss anything?
Hell no, you didn't.
Great.
No. Oh, maybe the dog paddle contest, which is, there was a lot of filler in this episode.
I mean, it did give me a chance. Again, when the content is boring, I start to look at other things. Like in Heather's confessional, I looked at her jawline. And in this scene, I just looked at the pool and like really marveled at that villa.
Yeah.
And the sun was setting. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, the sun reflecting off the pool water and the sea water. I was like, holy shit, this place is gorgeous.
So pretty. So
they
pretty.
were just dog paddling around so I could look at some more Santorini scenery.
So everyone gets out of the pool and they start getting ready for dinner. And Angie checks in with Mary and she asks Mary if she's ready to go. And Mary says, no, I'm going to stay here. And I love Angie. This is it. This is as simple as it is. I need to take a fucking lesson from Angie K. All Angie says is, okay, get comfy and rest. She doesn't push her friend. Oh, we're going to miss you. Like I would be like, oh my God, are you sure? I think that you'll have fun. No. In the future, if one of my friends says, nope, I'm going to stay here. You know what? Get comfy. Can I bring you back something? I'll text you when we're leaving if I can
But
bring
it's
you a burger to
also
go.
what makes their friendship dynamic so great, because Angie goes, you ready? And Mary goes, no. And there's a big old pause and she's like, I'm not going. And Angie's like, okay, well, you have your PJs and your blankie. And she doesn't say like you said, all the like, we'll miss you and are you sure? And come on, rally. She's just like, oh, Mary knows what Mary wants. And that right now is to stay in. I see why they're such good friends. They really communicate clearly and they're good to each other. It's nice.
They accept each other. You know,
Yeah,
they
totally.
had that great, honest conversation at the beginning
About
of the season
farts.
about farts.
Dog farts. You should know the difference between a dog fart and my fart.
Oh, God, yeah. But they're super fucking chill, dude. I love that. Lisa and Bronwyn are fucking around with that reverse sticker chart. I just blocked it out. I watched the episode twice. I just don't care. I don't care about that chart. I don't care about Lisa and Bronwyn like broing down.
I don't understand the chart, so I had nothing to say about it because I don't know what was funny about that because I don't understand the point of the chart. I don't know why crossing out someone's mark is hilarious because what is that? What are we doing? And then we see Heather with Whitney, and this was actually a cute little cousins moment where Heather's teasing Whitney that she looks like a shot putter, and Whitney pretends shot puts her Prada purse at Heather's head, and then when she picks it off the ground, she's like, "I know, I ripped my purse." And I was like, "Your Prada purse?" Ugh.
Maybe it's a Frauda purse, honestly.
Whatever.
Who knows?
It looked nice. Then we're in the Sprinter van, and it takes a while to get here. Everyone's joking about Whitney's outfit. Somehow this gets to people being able to call her a high body count drunk, at which point Brittany reveals that she has trademarked high body count. So it was Angie who told Brittany she had high body count hair, and Brittany has taken it upon herself to trademark Angie's line. And everyone thinks that's lame, and Angie thinks it's super embarrassing and weird. But Heather asked a very smart question to shut it all down, saying to Angie, "Well, were you going to trademark it?" And Angie's like, hot under the collar. Like, no, she wasn't. So Brittany sucks, but Angie wasn't gonna. So
yeah, she's not going to trademark it because it's not hers. It is from person who I don't want to ever mention this disgusting piece of shit's name on our podcast, but that is where Angie heard it. And it's some toxic, disgusting, listen.
I don't know who it is, and I don't want to know.
You don't want to know, and I'm not going to say it. Yeah. It comes from the manosphere. It's repugnant.
Yeah, I figured as much. We don't need
disgusting.
To, let's not give it any more airtime. But Angie added the hair part, I assume, right?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think that's what made it her line. But who cares? It's all so ridiculous. Then Angie starts critiquing Brittany's hair, which was like a weird turn and a bad look for Angie, saying it's too long for her age. It looks cheap. And then Heather and Lisa are like, well, my hair is even longer than Brittany's. None of this matters. You guys are in Santorini, and this is a dumb thing to argue about.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. My hair is longer than that, too. So they go to Tango, the rooftop bar, and Meredith and Bronwyn are pitching their new business venture. This was so stupid, Margie. This was so stupid.
I didn't get it. It was too high concept for me, and I was just like, I don't know what this is, so I don't get the joke. And if you have to explain a joke, it's not funny. So
it's not funny,
fuck
right?
You and your flask, and whatever this burn is on Brittany failed.
Bronwyn hates Brittany. And she kind of like gets away with it because Meredith hates Brittany, and we all know it. But Bronwyn, I'm blanking on whether or not Brittany did something to offend her over the course of the season, but Bronwyn's like, she's like a sleeper agent with her hatred for Brittany. And so they've invented a flask straw, and they're going to patent ting, ting, ting. We don't have an announcement because it's secret. Jesus. Just scraping, and you're right. If you have to explain it, it's not funny. This is not funny, and it's not fun.
But it was funny when Angie reiterates that she finds it embarrassing that Brittany trademarked her line. And she goes, that's like Ditzarella. And everyone goes like, haha, Ditzarella. I thought that was funny. This is such a Housewives conversation. So Angie goes, that's like Ditzarella. What did you do? You had bad hair, and I said it. And Heather goes, Angie did not invent high body count hair. And Brittany says, I was smart enough to do it first. And Angie says, so I wasn't smart enough? And I was like, you guys, this conversation is going nowhere, and it's about nothing. And Brittany's not going to do anything with the trademark. Like, calm down. We're not all scrambling to get our high body count hair merch. We're not. It's fine.
I will be damned to hell if you ever see me. I would never wear a high body count hair, whatever thing.
I mean, I get it. If she makes like a hairspray or something, it's cute and funny, but like she's not going to get like rich off of it. It's not skinny girl margaritas. Everyone calm the fuck down. And then Whitney finally is the voice of reason and says, you know, we're in Greece. We're supposed to be having fun, but instead we're hyper focused on trademarks and hair. And then Lisa asks Brittany, "Are you okay?" And she says that she's fine. And Lisa says that's all that matters. So they all drop it. Toast to Santorini and Happy Mother's Day. And Brittany, in her broken clock being right twice an episode, made a funny joke. Everyone says Happy Mother's Day. And Brittany goes, "I'm trademarking that." And I was like, that's funny. That's it.
You're more generous than I am. Friend, what else did you watch this week?
I keep forgetting to mention this, but I'm watching Southern Charm, and holy shit, this season, it's great. That show just absolutely delivers. It's Summer House in the South. This week, somebody hosted a literary figures dinner party. So we had whining and name calling with Craig in eye makeup, dressed like a pirate, Austin dressed as Hermione, screaming at each other.
Stop.
Screaming, eyeliner, wig, "You're miserable, you're a liar, you're a man baby." I'm like, oh my God, it's so visually and audioly stunning. I was like, everything's happening. It's so insane. And then I'm watching Below Deck Med. It's ridiculous and I'm still enjoying it. And then what I'm not enjoying is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I am watching it because I can't not. Nothing good is happening. And this whole last episode was Kyle telling us about how she was in love with someone, but they don't like the spotlight. Really? Because her ass was all over that season when she sang at your friend's funeral and you guys got tattoos in a scene alone together. What the fuck do you mean? Stop talking to me like I didn't watch the show.
Made a music video co-starring
thank
a
you.
prolific Real Housewife of a prolific franchise.
She doesn't like the spotlight. She doesn't. I would shout it from the rooftops, but she doesn't want to. Oh, doesn't she? Kindly, may I refer you to those episodes where she's on screen a bunch with you, feeding each other fruit at a funeral. What the fuck, you guys? I just am sort of over it. This is my whole thing of like, don't treat me like an idiot. It just makes me hate you and it agitates me. And I don't want to let them steal my peace.
I hate this season so far. I know we had talked about covering it. I don't know that I can. I don't know that I can watch these episodes 2 times. I am emotionally exhausted and repelled, and I have nothing new or groundbreaking to say about Sutton and how Avi left. Oh my God, watch the after show. The after show is infuriating.
I don't want to. I can't, like you said.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah,
want,
you don't have
Summer
to.
Summer House is on its way, and I think we'll finish out Salt Lake and go to the Hamptons.
Yeah,
like,
let's go to the
I can't.
Hamptons. Let's go to the Hamptons. I can't wait for that show to come.
What else did you watch?
So
this week?
yes, so I also watched Beverly Hills, and I remember I had the second episode of the season on, and I didn't remember one thing that happened. I think I was doing some mundane chores while I had it on, and so I decided to watch it again while I played my New York Times games, and it was so terrible. It's boring, but I am mad, so it's doing something to me. You know, it's getting a reaction. I am entertained by Rachel Zoe. I am always entertained by Tilly. Sutton, someone, when they said this, it was absolutely right. The best thing about Sutton was her friendship with Garcelle. And now that Garcelle is not on the show, I don't care. And fuck Dorit. I don't think it was just an alliance. I don't think that Garcelle and Sutton's friendship was an alliance. I think Garcelle, she's not calculated and disgusting like Dorit is.
Which is why she left. Because I think that group of calculated, disgusting women was really starting to affect her joy.
And Erica is, I'm not even going to give her the grace of talking about that bullshit. So let's see. Old Roni still for comfort. Potomac, great, love it. And Gossip Girl, again, still working through Gossip Girl. I'm on season 3. The show is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I love that I can text my niece about it when I'm done and talk about it. I got my niece a Gossip Girl poster for Christmas. That's one of her Christmas gifts. And
do you want to reveal that on the
She doesn't listen. I don't think she listens. No, I don't think she listens. I don't think my sister would let her listen. I mean, it's too... She's a teenager. I don't think this is appropriate for her to listen to. Oh, shit. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think she's too booked and busy to listen to her auntie's podcast. But you would not believe how much Chuck Bass merchandise there is out there. And I found a T-shirt that I might buy for myself. A Chuck Bass T-shirt. He's terrible. I need therapy. I need more therapy than I have if I find Chuck Bass charming. That's real sick. Todd,
I don't know the show well enough to know.
A Chuck Bass apologist and a Todd apologist?
Is
It's
Chuck Bass
me.
like
Hi,
Todd?
I'm the problem. It's me. No, they're
Mm,
just both toxic AF.
mm.
Chuck Bass he just needs someone. He just needs to be loved,
Yikes.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm sick. Anyway, Fred, what was your antidepressant this week?
My antidepressant was spending time with friends at this time of year. Like there's so much stuff work-wise coming to a close and like all of this push to get shit done. But I made a point this year to like take time I had dinner with my best friend since kindergarten, who's known me forever. And we have just reported like the ongoings of our life. And Sarah always laughs. The circumstances of my life are insane. And the stories I tell her, a lot of people clutch their pearls and worry for me. And I love telling the same stories to Sarah because she just dies laughing. For some reason, that gives me comfort because I know if she's laughing, she knows I'll get through it. You know what I mean? It's like not that deep. And she's going through similar stuff with aging parents and stuff like that. So we could laugh at all of it because it's absurd. Some of it is so ridiculous. It's like this could only be scripted. It's insane. And then my steak mates group that
Mm.
we've been doing this for like 4 years. You know, we have dinner every month. And then at Christmas, we do a Secret Santa gift exchange. And this year we were all like, maybe overtired, but also maybe just like in the moment, so moved because everyone's Secret Santa gift was so personal. It was so sweet because we've gotten to know each other so well. You have dinner once a month. You really see them like go through their lives. Everyone's gifts were like really thoughtful, really meaningful. And, you know, we have a price cap. So it's not like it was extravagant shit, but it's really lovely. It's only an hour and a half or 2 hours each of these things, but they're so valuable and they're so restorative in a season where like there's so much chaos and people are driving insane and it's dark at 3:30 and like everything feels really hard. But then a couple nights I've gotten to have these like really lovely spells of respite in a booth with people I adore.
I love hearing about the steak mates. I love steaks mates stories. I love them so much.
And we don't eat steak. Nobody eats red meat. So we just go to steakhouses and enjoy each other's company.
A steakhouse usually has a delicious salad on the menu.
They
So
really do. And they've got great, like weirdly great appetizers. Like we found there's a whole non-red meat steakhouse subculture.
mm.
So we'll write a book someday. In the meantime, what was your antidepressant this week?
This week has been one for the ages. So I'm going to keep it as stuff I'm grateful for. I feel much better after sitting down and chatting with you this evening. Thank you very much. My son and I have a tradition that we started when we moved, or when I found out there's this nursery close to Oakland. Every year at Christmas, they set up this huge tent full of, I don't know, 30-foot tall Christmas trees, just like stacked with ornaments. And so we each pick out ornaments that we want to buy. And we did that today, and it was really charming. I love when I get to spend time with my kid, and just like do our fun little traditions. And I called my mom the other night, and my sister and her fiance and my niece were over. So we got to kind of talk on the speakerphone. It was really fun. I could see all of them in my mind's eye. I wish I was there, and I'll go visit soon.
That seems right for the season.
Oh, a big one. I think it was yesterday. It was like one of those days where even though I took my ADHD meds, I did not know where to start. I just felt overwhelmed and crushed by just so many things. And my best friend here in Oakland, she checked in on me, and I told her what was going on. And I was like, I got to do this, and I don't know how I'm going to get it done. And she's like, I'm going to pick you up. We'll both go do it together because I need to do it too. Just go grocery shopping. Honestly, I think that if she hadn't said, I'm going to come get you, I need to do it too, I don't think I would have done it. That simple act of service and kindness, it meant the world to me. And then as service works, as you know, she's like, I needed it too. And that's the way it always is. When I'm of service, I feel good. And so I gave my friend the opportunity yesterday to feel good by accepting her help,
Wherever two or more are gathered, man. Like
Yeah.
there's a whole different vibe that enters the picture when I don't sit alone with my mean brain.
My
The mean
God.
part is
My
so
God.
loud. The nice part's there, but she's so quiet. She's deeply demure. So it helps to have another person amplify the nice things.
Maybe we can access our inner Giovanni and welcome our
Yes.
welcome our nice parts. Welcome, welcome,
Oh my
welcome.
God.
You know?
Please.
It all goes back to Bravo. It always
does.
can go back to Bravo. This is the
does.
intersection of reality TV and therapy, y'all. This is what we do. Margie, it was so lovely to chat with you tonight. Thank you,
too.
friend. I feel 180 degrees from where I was when we sat down.
Good. Same. Always.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Oh, thank God. Go to bed feeling light. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. Hang in there. This is the last weekend before Christmas next week.
We're already into Hanukkah. Like, it's all happening. And, you know, this is the season where lots of big feelings come up, lots of big happy feelings, lots of big lonely feelings, lots of big grief feelings. Like, all these things are in the mix. Reach out to your friends. You're not the only one having feelings that are too big for one. I find this time of year confusing because the highs are so high, which makes the lows more pronounced. So then I'm like, something's wrong. Because yesterday I loved being at that place and seeing that tree and I was with my friends. And now I feel like terrified and everything. Like, it's really, for me, you know, dramatic highs and lows. I'm Meredith Marks during these 2 weeks of the year. So
how dare you call yourself Meredith Marks? How fucking dare you?
I'm like yelling, or I'm melodramatic and whispery, or I'm gray rock. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I can't be a normal person. So for anyone else who's having that experience, you're not alone. Hang in 2026, it all starts over again. So whatever these 2 weeks are like for you, just stay here and stay with it.
I think I got to stay away from the news. I think that's what I have to do to restore my peace.
There's a Zora Neale Hurston quote. Is that her name? Where she says, no hour is ever eternity, but it has its moment to weep, or it has its right to weep. God damn it. How dare I butcher that? Anyways, no moment is ever eternity, but it has its right to weep. So if you're having a bad moment, it's a moment. And definitely you have your right to weep. This time of year, those moments can feel more damning than they actually are. So for anyone who's having that experience, have your moment to weep, and then come back and listen to us talk more bullshit about ladies in business bikinis at a pool.
Oh my God, I love you, friend.
It's not that deep.
You. Thank you. Thank you. I have exercised my right to weep this week.
Good. It's healthy.
At least it means I'm passing the energy through. Jesus.
Yes.
Oh, that chest can feel tight. Take clues from your body. Take clues. Where is that tension? Where is that tension? What is that tension trying to tell you? I'm not a yoga teacher. Shut the fuck. I need to just sign off. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Whatever that looks like. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Ramona and Margie are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.